Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our
Today
channel.
we're watching Bakemonogatari Season 1, Episode 7. I'm so excited to get back to the story. Kambaru wrecking Araragi shit. Flattening him out.
Senjukahara coming in and saving him. Even though, if she knew what was happening, she should be a little mad at him. Because he's overstepping a little bit.
Yeah, was it comeuppance? You know?
Karma?
Yeah, karma, if you will. Maybe. Could be. Araragi got hurt.
Should be a caution sign that maybe he should not be getting involved. Or maybe it's too late. He already is very much involved because he is the boyfriend of Senjukahara.
Always listen to Hanekawa. Period.
Period.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. That's true.
I mean, he did almost just die.
Ooh. Jesus. Oh my God. Oh.
Weren't we on a train track?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Woo! See, I was going innocently, and I thought that they had skipped over her, like, giving him a kiss or something.
Ah, nope.
Better.
We are talking Senjukahara. It has to be in line with the character.
Dread.
This is the best intro to an episode that's consistent ever. I love it. Oh. Just a little. So many books. Beautiful.
Is this what cleaning looks like?
Listen to this music.
Apologize for last night. Could she not control it?
Oh my God.
Yup.
Everything is so consistent. Yes.
Yes.
I love the word absurd.
We are also the type. Yeah.
Look at that smirk. Yes.
Cat. Vampire cat.
Hanekawa.
Senjukahara. How it's scuttled is like a crab.
Araragi does his research. So prideful.
I can't believe she came up with their nickname. That is disappointing.
Absurd before reason.
Is it like actually like a monkey hand?
Crazy cool.
Oh my God, it's giant. Monkey's paw. So interesting.
勝手に納得するな。僕はただ見たままの感想を述べただけだよ。何も見抜いてなんかいない。
You're being more humble.
猿の手はウィリアム・ウィマーク・ジェイコブズの短編小説のタイトルなのだが、持主の意に沿わぬ形で願いを叶えるといういわくつきのアイテムなんだ。
全然知らない。
何も知らないままに真実を言い当ててしまうなんて、荒木先輩は天に負わず何者かに選ばれているとしか思え
So
ない
it's
な。
not her intention to want to punch him.
今は別に
It's
大丈夫
fine right now. I wonder if it like at night.
Her expression was so interesting.
生きている。この怪異はやはり生きているタイプの怪異だ。
A living oddity.
変な声を上げんな。
変な触り方をするからだ。私はくすぐったがりなのだ。
だからっていきなり今までのキャラを崩すような小姉を上げて。
Oh, that's a good line.
Oh.
今は思い通りに動くのだが、思い通りに動か
Times
なく
when
な
it
る時が
moves
あ
in
る
a way that you don't want.
いや違
Wow.
うな。思いに反して動くようになるという。
Moves like I don't want it
思い
to.
に反してトランス状態ってやつだよ。それ知ってる。人間に憑依するタイプの怪異は肉体と精神をザクザクに凌辱する。
物知りだな、荒木先輩は。そうか、怪異というのか、こういうのは。
ただ最近どうしてなのかそういう経験をすることが多くて、それにそういうのに
This
詳
is
しい
so
やつがい
cool.
て。でも最初に一番驚かしてくれたから、この先どんなエピソードを聞いても驚かない自信があるぜ。
What about their relationship?
もちろんそのために最初にこの腕を見てもらったのだがな。一番大変なことを一番最初に済ませたの
For
だ。
the biggest hurdle.
じゃあいよいよ本題に入らせてもらおうと思う。
What was the intention?
私はレズなのだ。
Okay. I'm not
荒木先
surprised.
輩は男だから今のでは少し言葉が
Look at
言い直そう。私はユリなのだ。
一緒だそんなもん。何どういうこと？天井ヶ原と中学時代にバルハラコンビとか言って先輩後輩で、天井ヶ原はカンバルのことをあの子とか言ってで、昨日言ってた男と別れたことがないっていうのとしてそういう意味だったのか？
それは違う。戦場ヶ原先輩のことは私にとって戦場ヶ原先輩は純粋にパーフェクトで憧れの先輩だったからな。戦場ヶ原先輩のためなら死んでもいいとすら思っていたのだ。
I love this song so much.
けれど戦場ヶ原先輩は変わってしまっていた。変わり果てていた。
She changed
高
completely.
校生になってから重い病気を患ったということは聞いていた。しかし違った。そんな噂どころじゃなかった。戦場ヶ原先輩の体にはもっと大変なことが起きていた。私はそれに気がついて何とかしなければ。
The intention was
戦
to
場ヶ原
help.
先輩を助けなけ
Maybe
れ
that
ば
we
と思
got
っ
the
た。
monkey's paw.
だから今度は私が戦場ヶ原先輩を助けようとした。
Konbaru didn't just run away. Tried to.
抱えているものを私が何とかできる。それができなくてもそばにいるだけで戦場ヶ原先輩の心を癒すことができる。そう思っていた。それは取り尽くしのもの。
Oh.
あなたのことなんて友達とも思っていなければ後輩とも思っていない。今も昔も。だから私はそれ以来戦場ヶ原先輩には近づかなかった。
Amazing.
それが戦場ヶ原先輩が私に望んだ唯一のことだったからな。
The only thing she'd ever wanted from me.
それで少しでも戦場ヶ原先輩が救われるというのなら、それを私は良しとできる。
お前。
でも1年が経って私は荒木先輩のことを知ってしまった。戦場ヶ原先輩は荒木先輩と朝の教室で長々喃々と話していた。幸せそうな笑顔でな。
Oh my gosh.
わかるか？荒木先輩は私がしたくてでもできずに諦めていたことを
Oh.
まるで当然のようにやっていたのだ。
いや、それは
最初は嫉妬した。途中
The
で
room's a mess again.
最後まで嫉妬した。男だったらいいのかと思った。私が女だからダメなのかと思った。友達や後輩はいらないけれど恋人ならよかったの。だったら私でもいいはずじゃないか。荒木先輩に嫉妬して戦場ヶ原先輩に失望した。
I'd already become
そんな
inhuman.
自分自身に呆れ果てた。何が戦場ヶ原先輩を癒すだ。何が身を引くだ。そうしていれば戦場ヶ原先輩に褒めてもらえるとでも思っていたのか。ばかしい。偽善にも程がある。
Oh my god.
でもそれでも英語でも何でも戦場ヶ原先輩のそばにいたい。だから私はこの手に願ったんだ。戦場ヶ原先輩のそばにいたいと。 はカタカナでいいのか？
ああ。とはいえ、名前ほど可愛らしいやつじゃないぞ。本当に。
He's cute. What are you talking about?
Think Shinobu's still here?
だったらやばいんだろう、その左手。
荒木先輩、一つ聞きたいことがあるんだが。
Yeah.
なんだ？
荒木先輩は戦場ヶ原先輩。
Everything.
どういうところに
How she degrades me.
You didn't like how she changed, but he did.
ただのクラスメイトだったというのに。
どうしてそんなこと聞くんだよ。
So you can bond over loving
つ
her.
まりだな、もしも荒木先輩が戦場ヶ原先輩の体が目当てなら、私が変われると思う。
Oh my god.
私はそこそこ可愛いと思うのだ。
She's testing you.
髪の毛を伸ばせばもう少し女の子らしくなると思うし、そのあたりなんか程よくくびれて引き締まったいい体をしているのだ。
Do not fall for it.
私の覚悟は本物だぞ。荒木先輩が求めるのならいつでもどこでも荒木先輩の攻めを受け切るつもりはある。
攻め受け？なんで僕がそんなもんを求めなくちゃならないんだ？
ああ、そうか。荒木先輩は BL の素養がないのか。
I was like, why is she using that language?
BL とはボーイズラブの略だぞ。
知っている。そこで勘違いをしていない。ああ、気づいてはいたさ、カンバルの。
Was her whole room filled with... Oh my god.
後輩の女子とお下劣な会話を楽しめないようでは社会に出てからや
Yeah, talk smut.
それこそ後輩の女子に諭されたくないよ。
そうは言ってもな、荒木先
God,
輩。
she's ahead now.
さあ、それでは荒木先輩はブリーフ派かトランクス派かという話を続けようではないか。
そんな話はしていなかったぞ。
Why not?
私がスパッツの下にパンツを履いているかどうかという話だったか。
履いてないんですか？カンバルさん。じゃあそのスカートからはみ出しているスパッツの下は。
たとえそうだったとしても驚くほどのことではないだろう。
常にパンツ見せびらかしながら生活しているようなもんじゃねえか。それ。
Basically.
そう言われればその通りなのだが、まあそのあたりは差し詰め、スポーツ少女からの
An exemption. Okay.
違う。不況の変態。
ああ、そうだ、思い出した。
本当は履いているのか、それとも本当に履いていないのか、ちゃんと明言するんだ。
そういう下びた事情は割愛しようではないか、荒木先輩。
Speed.
些細なことだ。
ないじゃねえ。僕の後輩がスポーツ少女か露出
Is
狂
she
か
a
の
sporty girl or an exhibitionist?
そうだ。
The questions that you need to ask.
スポーツ少女でもあり、また露出狂でもある。スポーツ少女だと思う者にはスポーツ少女であり、
I am
露
that.
出狂だと思う者には露出狂なのだ。
Oh,
I
it's
know
like I
what I
only
know.
know what I know.
でもな、カンバル、真面目な話。
How long have we been talking?
頑張ったところで、お前じゃあ戦場ヶ原の代わりにはなれないよ。お前は戦場ヶ原じゃないしな。誰かが誰かの代わりになんてなれるわけがないし。
荒木先輩の言う通りだ。
ああ。
You're right. Like, how much time passed? Is it gonna be dark?
This is amazing. Look at that tree.
お
It has no business being that cool.
Shinobu.
Hi, Shinobu. How we doing?
なあ、荒木先輩。なんだあの子。めちゃくちゃ可愛かったな。抱きしめたい。いや、抱かれたい。
Dangerous.
でもまあ、あれにはかからない方がいいよ。
待ちくたびれて、もう少しで寝ちまうところだっ
Like his
た。
throne.
なんだよ、荒木くん。今日はまた違う女の子を連れているんだね。君は会うたんびに違う女の子を連れているな。全く五道系の至りだよ。
Hanekawa, Sendukahara.
セリフを何度も言うな。
ああ。おやつのミスタードーナツを僕が一個多く食べたら、しのぶちゃん、すねちゃってさ。
カンバルは神様の神に原っぱの原。原って書いてバルって読むんだ。駿河は、
駿河沿いの駿河だ。
ああ、駿河沿いね。わかったわかった。
Of course.
荒木先輩の後輩だ。はじめまして。
はじめまし
You
て
have。to wrap the
推し
arm.
のめめです、お嬢さん。で、そのお嬢ちゃんは何なのかな。ああ、その包帯かな。へえ。
星野さん、私は
順番に聞こうか。あんまり楽しい話じゃなさそうだ。腕に絡む腕話はいつもそうなんだよ。この僕の場合はね。
Mm.
ましてや、それが左手ともなると
Mm.
思うと
Do you think God has anything to do with it?
Connected to the
お互い
heart.
ほどいて見せてくれるかな。
Especially the left hand.
これでいいのか。
Tied to love for sure.
お嬢ちゃんの左手。それはね、猿の手じゃない。
Isn't.
は？
猿の手が持ち主の腕と一体化しちゃうなんて例、僕は過分にして聞いたことがない。
Right.
お嬢ちゃんその手は
This is so
もともとは
interesting.
ミイラだったんだっけ。差し詰めレイニーデビルかな。
レイニ
そう
Low ranking
そ
demon.
の中でも猿の腕を持つ雨がっぱの悪魔となれば 必然数は限られて猿の手じゃない悪魔の手だ
Devil's hand.
そりゃ何でも叶えてくれるさだって魂と引き換えなんだから魂
Soul.
魂と引き換えに3つの願いを叶えてやろう
3.
当たり前のことさ
I wonder if Kanbaru even knows if she's even made, like, you could not intentionally make a wish and it could perceive that you had made a wish.
Or
you know?
you now have the information that you could make 3 wishes, and you have to decide if you want to make those or not.
You make 2, and the second wish is that it goes away.
Okay, that was Bakemonogatari Season 1, Episode 7. Okay, there's definitely the route that wishes have already been made as per Kanbaru bringing up the monkey's paw and the wish factor to it, right? But if we are unaware about the other 2 wishes, we could go forward like 1, we're already here, we're with Oshino. Hopefully we go forward with trying to figure this rainy devil out, right? Or it's like something snaps within Kanbaru and it's like, I wish that Sejigahara was in love with me, or I wish that I was Araragi, or some shit.
Like, as if you're painting a picture that there is a path that Kanbaru can take this information as you get wishes and be willing to sacrifice her soul for doing that.
Is Araragi worth... Sorry. Is Araragi and his position worth your soul? Is being with Senjigahara worth a soul? If you're asking me, yeah, but like for a normal person.
For a normal person, the idea of losing your soul to a devil, whether you believe in that sort of thing or not, once you get to the fact the absurd has been seen with your own eyes, like that line that Kanbaru starts the conversation with, that is like, do you believe what you see with your eyes? If you were to believe that this is the devil's hand and you are seeing something crazy and knowing that at night you ended up beating up someone, you would probably then believe with your own eyes and your own heart that your soul could actually be taken by this thing.
Yeah.
I feel like if we think about, I guess my brain is more focused on how do we go about curing this. I feel like part of me thinks like, okay, well, what we did with Senjigahara is that and with Hachikuji, there's a completionist aspect to it. Like, you have to complete things in order to get to the part where you can change the oddity.
Yeah.
With Senjigahara, we get to a place where Senjigahara is ready to regain. We have completed whatever needed to be done, and we are ready to face things. With Hachikuji, we completed things by bringing her to her mother's house. And here, I feel like in order to fight the devil, the like low-ranking demon, would you have to make the 3 wishes and within have an actual fight for the soul? Like, I feel like you'd have to have a completionist aspect here.
Okay, I like that. But we can still have a completionist aspect of it with like the root of why we were given this in the first place, right? What, like, it wasn't a monkey's paw, it's a rainy devil. Where does that originate from? My mind first goes to the jealousy of seeing Araragi, and I'm like, okay, well, if that's the possibility we want to run with, like, just for a second, then how would you try to get over jealousy of Araragi in his position? You'd have to, like, see how lame he is, or see, like, that he's nothing for you to, like to put on a pedestal next to Senjigahara. Like, could we get a little bit of backstory or shown of Araragi that's embarrassing and lame, that's like, oh, yeah, that, okay, there you go, I don't have to be worried? Or I don't know, I'm trying to think where Kanbaru's, where did it originate from what we know?
Okay. Well, I want to attach to something that you were previously saying, like, about the jealousy factor that this probably came from. And we could think definitely it did. I mean, I think she makes it very clear that that's how she views this predicament. And I don't think she views it in a positive light at all, or views herself in a positive light with this at all. she has a line about already became inhuman.
Mm.
Like utterly inhuman. And the leading line and then the following line involved the words jealousy and selfishness. And I think that she has already gotten to a place emotionally where we talk a lot about awareness in the show, of like someone's awareness, and even though they might be aware, they still might be hesitant because of trauma, because of fear, because of holding themselves back, that there is a wall or something blocking them, an obstacle possibly created by themselves mentally or emotionally. And we already have the step that is necessary for curing this oddity, one of the steps that's necessary for curing this oddity, which is Kanbaru having an awareness that this is a negative, that being jealous and selfish over Senjugahara,
she's aware that
is
like
negative or bad.
Yeah, she's aware that even though that she's having these feelings and they're real, that she shouldn't be. Like she's like that, like she's acknowledging them as, like how you said, bad. Like that doesn't mean they don't exist.
Right, and I think it's really cool to highlight with Oshino the fact that this is on the left hand. It directly is tied to love, and out of love, in normal instances, without thinking about oddities, like because of love, people can do things with the intention of doing things out of love that can cause harm for the person that they love or someone else.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really cool to have that love tie here, because without the oddity involved, it's still something that is obtainable for us to understand the idea of it and how the intention could work out. That you might have what is a positive or loving intention, or your feelings are so strong and so pure that you would want them to get across because you would truly love her well. But that doesn't mean that once they've left you, that they will not possibly hurt someone else.
Kanbaru is written in the kanji with the characters for God and planes. When I saw the word God and then the idea of it being a left hand, those two things are, granted, I don't know if it's strictly Western based, but like it's there's a connection there too that I was wondering if it will have anything to delve into, but I think you're probably right with your ideal or your idea. Did you want to reread or go through the title cards at the beginning of the episode?
I would, but I'd want to say like one thing before we did that. Another line that I can think of that shows how Kanbaru actually feels about the choice that she's made, or this monkey's paw, is that when she's first telling Aragi, it's like in the first like 10 minutes of the episode, she's telling him about how she didn't really control the actions that she did the night before where she beat him up. It moves in a way that she doesn't want to, but then she kind of takes that back and says that want is maybe not the right word.
Yeah.
And I think that highlights again that the idea of like intentions not necessary. Like someone can want to be with Senjugahara, but you know morally or because you want Senjugahara to be happy that this idea of yours is selfish, and yes, you might want it, but that doesn't mean someone would act on every want that they have.
Exactly. Yeah, like okay, yeah, I know it's not I should never beat up Aragi here and fucking throw his bike into a telephone pole and leave him on the train tracks. That's an awful thing to do. Why would anybody do that? I kind of had I know, like I'm saying that to suppress the feeling that I have. Like,
but if he was gone,
yeah,
then Senjugahara wouldn't have someone there, and I could be with her.
Yeah.
It is really interesting that this thing got this. It's almost that this power, it fits with the devil. It's taking over any sort of compassion, empathy, realism, like human traits of being like law-abiding but also actually caring about hurting someone else.
Yeah.
Like she as a human would never get to the place where she would willingly beat someone up with this off chance that she would magically get to be with the person that she loves. Because why would the person that she loves want to be with her if she beat up the person they
yeah.
were dating. Like, it taking away the human aspects of it and getting into the inhuman, you lose so much of the logic and the reasoning that you would do with yourself if you had a want that is selfish.
It's interesting because I think that there is a loose parallel to Senjugahara's weightlessness within that. You know, like I think it might be a little harder to compare something like Hachikuji to like Senjugahara or Kanbaru, but I think that Senjugahara and Kanbaru's like, that's like this suppression of something, you know, what that does.
Mm-hmm.
All right, do you want to read some of the title cards? What a well-crafted ghost story, or perhaps horror story. A textbook tale of dread. Tried and true. It's a classic. In other words, according to Kanbaru, the monkey's paw. I love that it even says before the episode starts, according to Kanbaru, because it's not truly that.
Because it isn't actually the monkey's paw.
Was a pretty well-known item, though it didn't compare to vampires and was reused in lots of different media in lots of different ways. The biggest factor that makes the monkey's paw the monkey's paw. The monkey's paw grants its owner wishes, but not in the way the owner intends. Those two elements, it was the kind of item that comes with a catch. It seems the monkey's paw was an item created in India by an old mystic to teach people that they should live according to their fate and that terrible disasters await for those who defy it. When I hear about 3 wishes being granted, the first thing I think of is the magic lamp in the Arabian Nights. But how did that story go and end? All over the world, similar tales can be found. Burn chaos, considering how subject humans are to endless, insatiable desires. Interesting.
Ooh, I love that line.
It's a great line. Narratives where some sort of being capable of granting any wish presents itself to people might be a fundamental form of storytelling. Wow, that's a great line.
That line is amazing. The word choice of insatiable desires,
that's legitimately everything that we were like talking about, like in terms
cannot come to fruition. You will not be satisfied with obtaining this. The fact that to get what you want, you are defying things, therefore it will only lead to disaster.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to dread this inevitably if you try to. I think honestly what leads into us hearing about what Kanbaru has done in this episode is Araragi on the phone with Hanakawa bringing up the fact that even though he knows it's bad of him, he is going to force his position here. He is going to work against what Senjugahara has said that she wanted, which...
Beautiful.
And you know what another part that's interesting about that is he is willingly working against what Senjugahara says that she wanted. And Kanbaru, her take on what Senjugahara wanted was that, oh my gosh, she wants something from me. This is the first time where she is wanting something from me, and it is to be left alone.
Yeah.
And how she handles that is to, in fact, do what she has asked, because it is the first thing that she has wanted from her.
Yeah. Man, I love the line. I'm both a sporty girl and an exhibitionist. For those who come to me as a sporty girl, I am that. For those who see me as an exhibitionist, I am that too.
And then like the next line was pretty good.
About it being both A and B, saying someone
who believes it's A.
And for someone who believes it's B might sound deep. But like, I love how right when it's live and we're hearing that, we're like, holy shit, I know what I know and I don't know what I don't. Like, it's...
And then Senjugahara's twist on that was like, I know what I know, but I don't know what you know.
Yeah. It's phenomenal. I feel so bad for Shinobu. I know that there's a chance she's done horrible things, but
she's cute.
Not getting Mr. Donut and having to sulk for over a day on the stairs is a life that I do not envy. Damn. I
really feel like Shinobu is just kind of being dangled in our faces as viewers because of Shinobu's imagery, and we're consistently getting characters that are new to the situation, that don't know the lore, that are endeared to this small girl sitting in a corner that's cute. And as a viewer, we are the same because we haven't even gotten Araragi's story.
Yeah.
So we are also, as the characters like Senjugahara and now Kanbaru, are endeared to this small girl sulking in a corner alone. Like, we're like, how could this... What is he... Why... We feel bad that she's being, like, left alone and ignored and left to sit in a corner. And it feels... when you don't think about the context, because we barely know it, it feels abusive.
Yeah. Interesting. Did you, what did you think about Senjugahara's gift to Araragi?
I really did think that she was gonna I don't know why I did. I think it was just one of those moments where the light shines and I'm like, oh, she's leaving him with like a kiss on the forehead or a kiss on the cheek where she had like stapled him or something. And they're just not gonna show it to us, and it's gonna be one of those things where we as a viewer fill in the blanks. But you know what? I didn't realize that she was standing over top of his face when I was having these thoughts.
Yeah.
And now that you've pulled it up on the screen that she's literally over top of his head, I'm like, yeah, I don't... that's a weird position to be in, to kiss someone on the cheek.
I love it.
I really like that Kanbaru has a great manga collection.
Yeah, and it's organized.
It's color-coded. If anything, if any organization's happening, it's color-coded.
Yeah. She was very ticklish.
Oh, that was a funny line. That was like, that moan was not consistent with the character.
Yeah.
That's been, like, established so far.
Like, Kanbaru gives off like a very like protagonist personality. You know what I mean?
But so does Hachikuji.
Yeah. They all do.
They all do.
They're all protagonists.
That's so interesting that each character that we've met...
They have their own intros.
Yeah, each character that we've met thus far, it makes sense that they would have their own intros because they all feel like either the protagonist or the other main character to Araragi.
I feel like I'm deprived of seeing Hanekawa's intro. Like we've alluded to what happened with Hanekawa so much, and it's like, fuck, that would have been awesome to see.
This, I think what that takes me to in my mind is we know that they're like Bakemonogatari. We had to like do a watch order.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, is it a consistent series that takes place with the same main character? Because then in one of the others, would it be like a prologue that you see later and it is Hanekawa and the cat?
And Araragi?
Yeah.
Maybe. But it would be perfect if we never saw it.
Why? I want to see a cat.
I do too. It'd be perfect either way, but within the fucking awesome, weird world that lives, in my mind, within Bakemonogatari and somewhat, Madoka Magica. Like, there's this aspect to it that it's like, just make your fucking choices, man. I'm gonna love it. Do anything.
And we're just all along for the ride. Like,
yeah.
Do anything. Yeah, like, obviously, if I had any... I'm not gonna have expectations of, like, what I want to see. What it is that it's leading me to theorize that is something that I might see.
Yeah.
But not within this.
I think my favorite moment of the episode was seeing, like, the staples over Kanbaru with the line of dialogue. What was it? It was something about being inhumane. I've already become utterly inhumane.
Inhuman, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's phenomenal. I loved, like, the build-up to it as well.
See, I didn't realize at first that the stapling over top of the body and the imagery was probably, like, because Senjugahara tells us directly she did the same thing to Kanbaru that she did to Araragi. So we can imagine that she also, even though this person was human and couldn't heal, she sees herself as already inhuman, probably at the moment, or maybe soon after, that this interaction happens with the stapler.
Yeah.
And just the idea of seeing it over the body, but knowing that even though she was physically harmed with the stapler, her heart still seeks and cares for and loves Senjugahara. Similar to Araragi, that even though he was physically harmed by Senjugahara, he still raced after her and offered to help her.
But an interesting like twist on it, the staples didn't stay because of a healing factor. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like emotionally that exists within Araragi too, that puts him on the track that is helping these people.
Right, it could bring up or evoke the idea of scars.
Yeah.
Like, we get this idea that he feels like he cannot retrieve anything from his past, but these other people that he encounters, he believes they can. Like Senjugahara, he believes strongly that she can have back what she once had given up or lost. And this idea that he's able to heal what would be the stapler wound in his mouth, but Kanbaru wouldn't, would evoke this idea that he sees himself as, like the fact that he could heal is inhuman, but Kanbaru can still heal. She could still get back what she has lost and still retain her humanity and live her life as normal.
For a half second, when we were first seeing the arm of Kanbaru, we got like a visual of, it's what they do when it's like within this show that it's like removing media, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, holy shit, we're not even gonna see it, like, ever. It's just going to be looked at like this. Well, there it is. Like, just oddity. Like, I thought this is just the visualization we were gonna get permanently for half a second, and I was like, holy shit.
Isn't that what we got when we first got the crab? When the crab, like, first appeared?
Yeah.
It just said, like, I think it just said, like, crab or something all over it. Or weightless. Something like that.
I love it.
Super consistent all the time with every image
okay,
touch.
Here's a
pacing,
question.
everything.
Do you think that since we know there's other things, like in terms of chronological order, do you think the other series will be consistent in the oddities of this show? In terms of editing and in terms of pacing, you know?
I would imagine that they would all be similar in art style and pacing and just general energy.
Who makes these choices? Is it the editor and anime studio, or is it the manga, if there is one?
In terms of how creative things look?
Yeah.
I kind of hope it's the manga.
Yeah, me too.
I think that would be cool to open a page and just see this outline of what would be the monkey's paw and just see all the words on top of it on the page. I think that would be cool.
But there are so many flashes that are like just strictly anime production, like in title cards and choices being made, that it's almost like, I don't know. It's so fascinating to me. I hope that it's unique in its own right, or as consistent as this is, because it's one of my favorite parts about the entire series.
Why would you include the title card? Like, what is the choice of including those cards of information if not originally in the source material? If you especially know, if you're choosing the timing of it, you're choosing how fast it goes. You're choosing that most viewers might not pause.
Exactly. But if it was in a source material of a manga, you can't control the pacing of somebody's reading. So that would be like, wouldn't, like, it would, like, the choice that it would be made. I'm so curious. I need to know.
But then there's like, you'd be making a pretty big choice in terms of spoiling things.
Yeah, but inversely, you'd be making a pretty big choice of not giving information because it's being conveyed so quickly. Like, in terms of adaption, I'm so curious.
So are you rewarding the people that, honestly, I feel like the title cards or the words that flash, what they do is they confirm what I have come to understand through watching the episode. They feel like they are just a validation. Like, it's like you're taking a test and you get to check your answers after answering 5 questions, and then you can move on to the next section. And it's like, okay, I understood what happened in this episode. I can now go into the next episode knowing that I understood last episode.
My least favorite part of watching Dragon Ball Super live was when the episode title completely gave away what was about to happen in that episode. It is frustrating when some anime openings have major spoilers for things that have not been shown yet and kill suspense. This is the best example of anything in opening a show that I think I've ever seen that is like added context after the episode's over or even before it happens. It is so like specifically worded and vague enough that it only hits home after you have context.
Right, that, and if you also think about it, that if you had read it at the time, it was mainly talking about the fact that the monkey's paw exists as a story.
Yeah.
And last episode, we had already brought up the monkey's paw. Like, because of what we get in terms of actual show, like what happens in the episode, we were already like thinking about this story that we've heard before because it's really popular and we probably read it in school a few times. And so we were already thinking about it. Therefore, it's not like it was telling us something and aiding in us discovering something.
Yeah, and it only to be used as a device of not being the case at hand.
But also it's funny because most of the time these are narration cards by Araragi.
Yeah.
And he plays dumb to Kanbaru about not knowing the story.
Dude, I loved, like, because of, I know that Kanbaru's nature is, like, overtly positive and impressed by certain things, but it played so well with Araragi because whether true or not, probably true for some of them, of like, oh no, I didn't know that. I wasn't putting together things in my head. It was just the first thing I thought of. Of course, Kanbaru's gonna be like, oh wow, that's even more impressive. Like, you didn't even have to think about it. That's the first thing that you land on. Like, it was so entertaining. All right, that's all I have you.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.